Hey guys, Museman here, back with another Identity 5 video. In this video, I'm gonna be showing you some of my Chang gameplay. I've got 2 gameplays on Moonlit, 1 gameplay on Arms Factory, and shout out to Cupcake for making that intro for me. It really adds a lot to the video. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so now we're getting into the first video, and it's on Moonlit. So I like the spawn right out here outside of town. You know why? Just look at this. I go right over here, and there's a survivor right on bridge right here. Unfortunately, it's the mercenary. I would have been hoping for the seer or the cowboy. Those would have been ideal targets right now. But being that it's mercenary, I'm not going to waste my time. I'm going to start looking for another survivor to go to. And I'm just waiting, hunting around, waiting for my tinnitus to go off, and I see that it goes off right here. So in this specific match, I choose to go Insolence, and that's because Chang's early game is not the greatest. He doesn't get his abilities until the second or third, or until the second hit. Without insolence, so that can be pretty difficult to do with Chang. This priestess is just banking on me trying to swing around all of these, but eventually I inevitably catch up to the priestess. Now what the priestess should be doing right now is to throw down a pallet every now and then just to keep me on my toes, but lucky for me, she doesn't. And you see I was able to use that insolence right away to get that down a lot faster. She would have had the opportunity to drop a pallet on me. Just to sort of fake me out, but being that I had my bell, I was able to slow her down enough where I was able to get that second hit. So that's kind of what I think of when I play with insolence. I'm like, I just got to get one hit, and then usually the rest kind of takes care of itself. So the reason why I moved that way was because the mercenary, I know, was decoding the bridge cipher, so I started making my way over to bridge. Unfortunately, the mercenary gets birded, so I didn't have any sort of opportunity to stuff that save, although he elbow pads away and basically leaves the priestess to get downed again. So she's leading me into 2-story. This is not a super ideal chair to go to, just because it can be pretty difficult to predict where the survivor is going to be coming from. However, I just kind of wait for her to be downed, and I'm able to take the priestess back to the chair. So now I'm just going to take her to the one that's right inside 2-story right here. And this is probably one of my least favorite chairs of the game. Oh, and then the cowboy ends up coming for the rescue. Now what he should have done was probably try to hide just inside of it, or try to lasso rescue, but the priestess is able to use her portals to escape. It's basically a free escape there. Although she kind of keeps using her portals, and what she should have done there was use that to try to transition to a better area outside of 2-story. However, I ended up getting the notification that she vaulted, and I was able to walk right back down. Now a lot of hunters will follow them right out that window. I like to go right back down because sometimes that can start an infinite loop. Especially with hunters like Chang, if you can sort of counter that with your secondary umbrella ability to make it so that the survivor doesn't quite want to vault, but there is a cowboy here, but he ends up going out of reach, so I'm banking on his lasso missing, and I was able to fake it out behind that wall there. And now look over here. Apparently, everybody decided it was party time and that they all wanted to try to save. So, except that survivor was dead on chair. So, now I get a hit on the seer, but what I'm really after is I want to be after that final cipher. You see 1 cipher remaining. You always have to keep an eye out for what cipher is going to be the last one. And I was able to siphon the mercenary, which makes it so, especially as White Chang, he's not as difficult to catch, and I'm able to use my teleport. I don't know what the seer is doing. They're probably trying to get as much decoding progress as possible. However, I know the mercenary is going to be down for a while. The seer just got down, so that buys me time to get the last survivor down here, which is the cowboy. So you can kind of see how I took advantage of how all the survivors were all in one area, and I just kind of picked them off one by one depending on what last cipher they were planning on decoding. So now this one is on Arms Factory. You can see I decide, this is my personal opinion, you can choose to try to go left on your persona build, but I actually like to go up when I'm playing Arms Factory. Now, Arms Factory is a relatively weak map for Wu Chang in my opinion, just because of Factory is still pretty broken. Even after the nerf, it's still really good for survivors. And you really need a hunter that is kind of specializes in that area to be able to get it down in there. So I'm trying to fake out this priestess, try to get an early hit. So I know I don't have insolence, so I know I need to get a double hit. Now, I was able to hit the priestess before she was able to land that portal, but you see now she's making her way to Factory. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place that umbrella there that prevents her from vaulting that window there. Somehow that prioritized the priestess. I have no idea how that worked, but I'm like, hey, I'll take it. So I'm gonna hit the doctor, make it so she can't insta-save, but I'm not gonna waste too much time on the doctor because the priestess has her improved healing ability. So now she gets up really fast, basically. And unless if it's a large map, I choose to play peepers, so I place a peeper down there so that I can be notified if a survivor tries to rescue here. And that was a really close bell. However, it wasn't quite in time, and I almost got the hit there, but not quite. So that was a really good rescue by the mercenary. Unfortunately, the priestess doesn't have any areas where she's able to portal away, so I am able to double hit the rescuer and down the survivor. And the good thing about double hitting a mercenary is that it takes him absolutely forever to get back on his feet again, so I know that I'm going to have lots of time. So now I'm going to take this priestess over to another rocket chair, and honestly at this point I don't care where the mercenary is at. All I know is that he's either A, going to take forever to stand back up again, or B, that's another survivor that's not going to be decoding here, because it would take another survivor to heal him up to full again. So I tried to juke out that perfume, but being that the perfumer did end up going back, I was able to get a nice easy hit again on the priestess. So almost arguably the perfumer should have just kind of taken the hit and tried to body block again, just so that the priestess would get a chance to get away. But now I'm able to take the priestess, stick her right back on a chair, and that is my first elimination. So when it comes to a survivor that's dead on chair, if they're caught in a really bad area, what you really want to do is you want to body block for them. And I know where the priestess went, so I'm just kind of gonna go around in this area. And she used a really premature perfume, so I was just gonna kind of make sure she doesn't transition anywhere. Otherwise, I can pretty much manage this area, just kind of go around here. That was a really close hit. However, she is able to get perfume again, but that is her last perfume. So now I know I can just sort of make my way around here. I'm going to charge attack early. That was really close to hitting. So was that, honestly. But I'm sort of waiting for the perfumer to vault there. But there is one cipher remaining. Again, as you know, you got to pay attention to the top there. You have to pay attention to where that final cipher is going to be coming from. So and I just saw I think it was the mercenary out of the corner of my eye there. But I am going to chase the doc for a little bit, just because the doc is able to self-heal in quarters. That allows her to buy a lot of time for the team. So I use my bell here, and I'm able to get a down on the doctor. So at this point, I was like, I don't want a cipher pop. I don't want a cipher pop. And lucky for me, they did not have one ready. and all the survivors were actually working on this one. So I'm taking advantage of my umbrella ability. And they're all hanging around here, so this puts me in a really tough spot. And I'm spamming keepers here because I didn't know it was like exactly primed, but now I know that I can go after the perfumer here, and I'm gonna get a quick down on the perfumer. So I want to secure a first chairing here. So what I like to do is if I know where they're going, I want to go for the win. However, if I have to settle for a tie, I know that I have at least one chairing. The perfumer's not going to be able to self-heal or anything. But I thought I remembered them going this way, so I end up actually getting a soul siphon on the dock. So the doctor is a pretty good target for me at this point, because she has nowhere to kite to from here. So now I'm able to get a second chairing down. So at this point I was predicting the mercenary's probably going after the perfumer. So what I do is right away I'm going to use my soul siphon ability, try to get there as quickly as possible, and now I know they're both that way, and I can watch out to see if someone might be going after the doctor, but I see them both in this area, so I know that they won't. And now I'm going to switch to my black form here, down the mercenary, and I didn't really know where the perfumer was going from here, so I thought she might have been sticking around in that area, but the perfumer is able to escape, but I was able to get 2 survivors down because of my detention, and I took advantage of that, and now the perfumer was the only escapee. So that is a win for me on Arms Factory. So now we're going to go back to where we started and look at another Moonlit map. So in this match, I kind of did a boo-boo here. I still had my persona and everything on from my other match, so I had up, down, and peepers, which, you know, I don't really like carrying on this map. But anyways, it was ranked, so I'm like, I gotta take advantage of this. And I end up doing a lot better of a initial umbrella than what I did in my previous video, and the seer gets downed right away. So that's also kind of an example of when insolence won't help you, because sometimes if you get them in the right spot, they're not going to be able to kite you, such as that bridge cipher. So now I'm kind of looking around wondering, where might a rescue be coming from? And I see the mind's eye over there, and you could justify going in that direction. However, I decided that it's more important to camp and get a secured first down. So I see the priestess is coming this way, and I'm just going to work on getting a nice early hit. And the seer really should have just used a bird right there, but if the seer's going to just stand there around for me, what I'm going to do is I'm not being mean or anything, I'm just building my presence up, because his chase gets better and better the more presence he has. That final ability of the instant soul siphon, and especially the bell on Wu Chang, can be extremely helpful. The soul siphon can be helpful on occasion when camping, because you're able to use your that siphon, make it so that they aren't able to save. So I see the perfumer's after image here, so now I hit her twice, so she has to be healed or self-heal. And the seer did get rescued, but now that's one less person. That's decoding. So now I'm going to go around in this area, look again for that seer, because remember, I want to secure a first down here. If I can get one elimination, I know that I can pretty much guarantee a tie here. And there was that bird that I was saying was going to come up at some time. So this mind's eye was kind of asking to be hit here. However, I still just wanted to get the seer down. So the mind's eye tried to body block here, but I'm going to try to get a hit on the mind's eye, but not stress over it super much if I'm not able to. But now I'm able to take the seer to the chair, and that is elimination number 1. So this is really nice here, because I know that the seer is dead on chair. this gives me a lot of flexibility because there's only 3 ciphers remaining. If I need to spend some time on a chase, I'm given that flexibility at this point. And I see the mind's eye over there, and that was a really unfortunate teleport. I did not want to teleport that way, but like my screen ended up just jerking to the side for one reason. So in this area with white Wu Chang, you should do what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to mind game around these pallets here. Just kind of use the charge attack, and you're bound to eventually get one hit like that eventually. The tough thing about white Wu Chang is that his attacks take a really long time to wind up, so sometimes it can be hard to get legitimate hits like that. The mind's eye was able to get, that was a really convenient body block for the survivors there. But I'm able to see where I said that bell would be useful. I ended up using my other bell, although I could have just ended up swinging there. However, I'm able to get a down on the mind's eye. I know the perfumer is somewhere around, and I'm going to choose the chair that's close to the cipher. So there are 2 strategies you can do. You can either try to pick the chairs that are close to the ciphers, and this really means that you're just looking to try to stall the decoding some more, or you can try to pick the ciphers that are pick the chairs that are far from the ciphers. And the logic behind this is if you really want to down a survivor, if you really want to force a survivor to go a long way to try to get a rescue. Now that's usually if you're trying not to camp, you want to go with that strategy. However, that's ultimately your decision. Taking a look at how many ciphers are remaining, what's your personal play style, you know, that type of thing. So I knew someone would be going to that bridge cipher here, and I see the perfumer is there, but the priestess ends up luckily catching my eye before I'm able to switch. And I'm about to secure my second down. I know that there's not any chance of a cipher pop at this point. So I'm able to down the mind's eye, and now the mind's eye is eliminated. So now at this point, I pretty much have the win guaranteed. Unless I do really, really bad at this point, there's no reason why I should lose here. And I see the perfumer here, and that's why priestess is a pain on this map. Those portals buy so much time, especially because they're such long stuns. I need to use my soul siphon in order to catch back up to the perfumer. So, but fortunate for me, I am able to, and I'm going to take the perfumer, and I'm just going to spam peepers down. Like, you're not getting back up, because I saw where the priestess was, and I didn't want the priestess to be able to attempt to save, even if she is injured. But I'm going to use my teleport over here, and if she didn't portal there, that probably would have been an easy hit. That was an unfortunate bell there. So the important thing about the bell is that it goes by the way that your character is facing, not by your camera angle. So that's an important thing to keep in mind there. The priestess is going up the slide. On occasion, you're able to get lucky things like that. And what this priestess should do is she should just throw down these pallets. Just try to have me break one and then portal inside to the story. But this priestess ends up trying to tight kite me here, and she ends up paying for it. So I know the priestess has quick healing, so I'm just going to throw a peeper down. And what I was trying to do is I was trying to make her switch, and then I would try to fake out, but my range didn't reach up quite that far. So see, the priestess was already at 60%, and I was away from her for like, what, 10-15 seconds? So I'm going to take the priestess to the chair, and then I'm going to take the perfumer to the chair. But on occasion, as I was saying before, you are able to use your bell at certain levels that are certain above where the ground level is, so that you're able to take the get a bell on the survivor that is slightly above you. But now I'm just going to take the perfumer to the chair, and yeah, that's all GG's. So I hope you all learned from watching my Wu Chang gameplay, and I hope this all helps you all improve. And Thank you for sticking around through this far. Well, I hope you all enjoyed that video. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel, and let me know in the comment section below what you thought, and thank you for watching.